All right, we are here with a match between Prota and Zekrom for a Gen 6 random battle for Retro Achievements Racket Up event. So this week, these two contestants had their random challenge as a Gen 6 random battle. The winner will get an extra reroll token in the main event. And it looks like Prota's going to be leading with a Chinchino here, and Zekrom is leading with Uxie. Now that's certainly an interesting matchup that we have here. Obviously, Uxie has quite a lot of options at its disposal. Tends to be a little bit more of a support option, but of course we don't know what the movesets are going to be here. Proto's Chinchino. I'm assuming this is going to be a skill link Chinchino. We could be looking at something like a very hard-hitting Bullet Seed or Tail Slap. Could even just see something like a knockoff, perhaps, trying to take away leftovers off of the Uxie. Case a U-turn, bringing out a Victini. Uxie doing a U-turn of its own, however. So the slower speed gives Zekrom the chance to decide what the best option they have to bring into the Victini is. And it's a Fianny. Okay. Fianny, very strong water type. Obviously, Victini typically carries something like Volt Strike that can cause a lot of damage to Fianny. But Fianny could do quite a lot of hurt back with something like a Scald. And again, even a knockoff often makes a big difference in a matchup like this, though there's a decent chance we'll just see the Victini U-turn its way out or something as well. So we do see that Bolt Strike come in. Fianny scalds right back. They both got their super effective attacks. It looks like Fianny will not be able to take one more of those. So Fianny will probably have to either swap out or just get sacrificed here. And Zekrom decides to go ahead and sacrifice the Fianny to the Bolt Strike here to get a clean switch that doesn't take any damage. Let's see what Zekrom chooses to bring in. I'm curious what we're going to see coming into this Victini. We see the Uxie come back out. Victini could probably do a lot of damage to this Uxie, but Uxie may have some sort of defense move here. Victini also likely a little bit faster. Let me check the speeds on that. 163 to 204. Yeah. 15 is often slightly faster, but not a guarantee. Those speed tiers are very close. I'm expecting we could see some sort of. Well, depends on whether the Victini's banded. We've only seen Bolt Strike from it. It is not banded. We get a V create, but lowering its defenses in return. Victini gets toxic. Um, we could probably see the Uxie switch out here and put the damage onto something else, or the Uxie might just go down in exchange for having Toxic to Victini. That said, Victini may need to swap if it wants to stay alive longer. However, with that Toxic, its time is going to be numbered no matter what happens afterwards. So what we've seen out of this Uxie so far is a U-turn and a Toxic. Victini has seen Bolt Strike and V-Create. If Victini takes out Uxie here, Victini did have the speed advantage. We'll take turn 2 of Toxic, which, yeah, 12% on that turn. So we'll be looking at a 26% Victini into 4 options left from Zekrom. At that point, pretty much anything that outspeeds the Victini likely sees a kill. So if Zekrom is willing to sacrifice the Uxie here, or even just switch into a resist, of anything that's fast, Zekrom might have a chance to try and get the tempo of the match a little bit more in their favor. It's definitely a lot of ways I could see Zekrom playing this turn. All depends on what those 4 unopened Pokeballs are holding, of course. Let's see. On Prota's side, we've seen the Chinchino, which I don't believe we've seen. We've seen a U-turn out of Chinchino and nothing else. If it's a U-turn, that could be Choice Band. That could be something like. Also, we for sure whether that's Skill Link or Technician. See a knockoff onto Lilligant, knocking off a Life Orb. That's an interesting set of choices. I'm guessing this Lilligant has something to clear out this Uxie with. Also, just resetting the defenses instead of continuing to tick up toxic damage. Um, Life Orb, of course, implying this is a very offensive focused Lilligant. Sleep Powder, though, setting up the support turn, putting Uxie to sleep. We could see Lilligant try to set up with something like a Quiver Dance here. That could start to be absolutely brutal if this Quiver Dance gets going, even without a Life Orb. Quiver Dance on something whose speed tier already caps out at 204 is potentially huge. Yep. But Ledian comes in with a quad resist to grass. Um, so anything like a Petal Dance is basically nothing here. That's a huge option. Now the question of this is support move set from Ledian, or whether we have some sort of bug powerhouse move to hit back, and also what sort of coverage the Lilligant is bringing, because we've seen two status moves and no damaging moves from this Lilligant. Sleep Powder again, but Sleep Clause, of course, prevents that. A Toxic coming in on Lilligant. Looks like Zekrom rolled a very high Toxic based team in this. Both Uxie and Ledian carrying Toxic. Hidden Power super effective on the Ledian, but that looks like it's a 2x super effective, not a 4x. So my guess here would be Fire, though that's certainly not a guarantee. Focus Blast dealing a lot of damage, stacking up with that toxic damage. Lilligant goes down, and we are at 5-5 in the match. Um, Focus Blast hitting twice in a row is actually quite nice for Zekrom here, because that could have gotten very nasty if it hadn't. Let's see. Speed tier topping out at 227. Houndoom coming in. Houndoom speed tier tops out at 198. If Ledian speeds anything above 198, we could just see a Toxic here, spreading Toxic to a third member of Prota's team, even if the Ledian goes down to something like a Flamethrower. Focus Blast would also take a massive chunk out of the Houndoom. If it hits, 70% on Focus Blast is always a risk. From Prota's perspective, of course, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, anything like that is going to obliterate Ledian. But Focus Blast is nasty enough that you can't really risk setting up something like a nasty plot here, unless you really believe that Zekromaster is going to switch to save the Ledian. But I think 9 times out of 10, Zekromaster lets the Ledian go down here in exchange for either a attempted big hit with Focus Blast or even just a Toxic on this Houndoom. With Toxic on both the Uxie and the Ledian, and the Victini already Toxic, and the Houndoom potentially taking Toxic, you have to start wondering whether Prota has any access to something like a Heal Bell in those two last Pokeballs as well. Mega Houndoom comes in, the Toxic goes down, the Fire Blast misses. Oh, that is absolutely brutal. Fire Blast, that's only a 15% chance to miss. Missing at the worst time because now Ledian can either get different turns off here. We could see that Focus Blast come in again. We could even see something like a Protect, I believe, would be another option from Ledian once you have the Toxic. There's a lot of ways Ledian can make this Mega Houndoom pay for that miss. That was a critical turn. And we can see that even though Mega Houndoom's top end speed tier. Oh, looks like that's a speed tie. Interesting, because the top end speed tier was in favor of both. Sorry, the top end speed tier was in favor of Ledian on the previous turn, but was in favor of Houndoom on this turn. So that must have been a speed tie. It's going to say Houndoom has a speed cap. Now you have Auroras come in. Speed tier maxes out at 149, meaning Houndoom will be going first here. However, don't think there's a whole lot of anything that can one shot the Auroras or even come especially close. The Auroras should get at least an attack or two off. Could easily see something like an Earth Power coming in here. Of course, just a weather which isn't sunny day is never ideal for a Mega Houndoom. This is a lot of damage that could be coming in both directions. Prota has the 5-4 lead, but with Victini and Mega Houndoom Toxic, this could definitely still go either way. Actually, we may even see a rock move from the Auroras here. I think that would make a lot of sense to see. Taking 18% poison on the toxic this turn as well, though, so that's going to be down to what, 65% on Doom, just taking toxic this turn. You really can't afford to set up a nasty plot or anything once you've got that toxic ticking. Instead, we haven't seen anything mega capable from Zekromaster's side. There's a decent chance there's a mega capable Mon hiding in those two Pokeballs. Oh, Heracross coming in, tanking the Earth Power for almost 0 damage. Hail crashing down, and Heracross holding the Toxic, presumably having some sort of guts ability here. Close combat would absolutely obliterate the Auroras. The Uxie would be able to resist it if it swaps back in, however. That guts damage is going to tick up fast, but Prota needs to be careful about how much poison they let tick away. Yeah, Auroras pretty much has to swap out here or die. Yeah, close combat obliterates the Auroras. Does get more damage on the Heracross with the Toxic and with the Hail damage coming down, though. Let's see what Zekromaster has left. Does the Uxie come in? I guess Uxie resisting the uh, close combat may still have gone down to it. I don't think so, actually. Yeah, it would take like a Mega Horn or something for Uxie to go down here. Which Heracross would, of course, be capable of, but Uxie being asleep is not really the place you want to throw away your Uxie. I think with Auroras going down a 5-3 lead and the sleeping Uxie, Prota probably has the edge in this match, but 3 Toxic Mons is definitely nothing to sneeze at. The Lugia coming in, Heracross almost has no great options against this Lugia, and if it does switch out, we could see something like even a substitute plus leftovers on this Lugia could actually set up some quite nasty possibilities. Yeah, I don't even think Heracross will have anything that would guaranteed break a substitute from Lugia here. Lugia should have a higher speed as well. Um, Guessing we could see a substitute into a Mega Houndoom switch in. That substitute would give a lot of time for poison damage to tick up on the Mega Houndoom, depending on what else Lugia has available as well. Yeah, I'm not seeing great options. Prota has the numerical advantage, but Lugia really is a game changer. Wow, that is like exactly what Zekromaster needed in this situation. The more I look at it, the more I don't see great options for Prota. If you sacrifice something to get the Victini in, Aeroblast coming in would definitely have KO'd the Heracross. Now you are facing down a Houndoom that, ooh, even the Dark Pulse does relatively little damage due to the power of multi-scale. Um, Lugia absolutely destroys the Mega Houndoom, and Lugia could being a game winner here. Wow, that was quite quite the turn. Taking out Mega Houndoom. Heracross comes in. Aeroblast takes out the Heracross as well. And Lugia has potentially taken over this entire match. Just the exact right typing and ability with the multi-scale. Left over the held item. Prota's going to have to find something fast to break this, because this is absolutely devastating. Um, a Bolt Strike would sure do some significant damage to it, should even potentially have the speed advantage with a Bolt Strike. but even a Bolt Strike probably doesn't get all the way there, especially since this is not a banded Victini. It's all going to come down to what Prota has in that 6th slot, or whether Cinccino could do anything. I guess Cinccino still has some options as well. We could see like a Skill Link Rock Blast out of Cinccino would be a possibility there. The match is 3-3, but each side has one of their options significantly weakened, Uxie being asleep and down to 32%, Victini at 38%, and Toxic. Cinccino comes in, Rock Blast does hit for a ton of damage. The crit should not matter, as had 30% left before the crit, and with doing 16 to 17 per hit, should have gone down to the guaranteed 5 hit due to the Cinccino's skill link. Here, the question number 1, is the Cinccino choice banded? It's going to be the biggest question here. We will not find out, as Wormadam will probably get blasted either way, pretty much no matter what this Cinccino has on its moveset. A V-Create will absolutely take out the Wormadam here. So all comes down to what this Wormadam has to answer this Cinccino. Rock Blast takes one turn there, but if Wormadam has leftovers, and Wormadam has Toxic, the 3rd Toxic user we've seen, 2nd Rock Blast without the crit would deal 50%, meaning Wormadam will live one more turn. Wormadam probably has some sort of defensive moves here as well. Yep, we get a Protect, blocking the 2nd Rock Blast, healing up to 60. Cinccino takes poison. Zekromaster absolutely has the chance to turn this around. We see a 50% or so coming in on this Rock Blast. Wormadam down to 11. Stealth Rock setup. 19% to poison. Cinccino's faster, but we'll see a Protect come in here. Cinccino will take 25 to Toxic. If there's a switch, the Stealth Rocks will set up. This actually is like a chance for Zekromaster to come back into it again. After the Lugia went down, it was starting to look dire. Wormadam may just have the options here. Still going to have to do something about that Victini, which will still get a couple of turns off. But that 25% is huge. Could risk a Protect here. 31% is not enough. So a risky Protect does not do it, but we could see a sacrifice of the Uxie into Cinccino here and try to use Wormadam to finish this match off. Now, we see the risk Protect. Rock Blast hits. Wormadam goes down. It's all up to Uxie. If Uxie can fast wake up, Uxie should not be faster than the Cinccino, and Rock Blast here should be dealing roughly 40% to the Uxie, take the rest of the way down. Prota wins the match. Quite an excellent match to both. This was definitely a back and forth match. Saw it going both ways. Thank you for joining us if you're watching this. Until next time, this has been the Alex Speaks, and this is a Retro Achievements Look It Up match.